some big mice. Another day in the life. Man, you gotta get some fresh air out here. See what's going on. What's going on? Man, what's going on? Yeah. Kids usually playing at the park. Ain't nobody, people scared right now. I still get that fresh air, man. Get up, out and about. Yeah, you can't be scared to get out, man. That fresh air is the only thing that's going to go ahead and help you. One of the things, you can't be regurgitating that same air indoors. You can get something fresh in your lungs, man. Shit, where people at? Where people at? Shit, what y'all got popping for your Saturday? Quarantine Saturdays. Fuck that. You know, shit, need to stretch my goddamn legs. Yeah, man. They really do. They really do, man. You know, you can't take that away. You can't take away people living their life. You can't take away people over here doing what the fuck they gotta do. You know, shoot. Human beings need outside environment, outdoors. It's only natural. Yeah, it's only natural. See you being brave, brother. I said, see you being brave like me. Yeah, man. Hey, we got to stretch our legs, right? Yeah, man. Got to be out and about. That's how it go. Beautiful day outside. Shit. People still driving. People still headed out. Doing what the fuck they gotta do. What's gonna stop you? Shit, ain't nothing should stop you. Man. Nothing stop. Yeah, people still on the damn road. You know, shit. I'm gonna have to hit that grocery store soon to really see what kind of hell is going on. Yeah. This shit. This shit is crazy. It's crazy. It's a beautiful ass day though. You know, it's a beautiful ass day. Warm as hell. Man. You know, shit, y'all gonna go ahead and sacrifice a beautiful ass day? I don't think so. I don't think so. Nah, man. You can't let people go ahead and tell you how to live and how to think. You know? Be smart about it, but as soon as people start telling you how you're gonna live your life, then what can they do next? What comes next? You know? If they can start taking away your bare minimums, you know, shit. Everything's good, man. Everything's good right now. You know, everything's good. And, you know, shit is, as long as you still breathing, you still here, you got a right to go ahead and live the life you want. I got homeboys that didn't make it to my age. Boys that unfortunately died before they hit 30. They would love to go ahead and be able to see this, have a piece of it, you know, and be able to just go ahead and be involved and watch the sun rise one more time, or even go down, be able to see their kids and shit like that. And people in a panic right now over having life and breath in their lungs, man, that's just crazy to me. You know, thank you. Yeah, that's craziness, man. You got to be able to live your life. Some people, you know, let the fear get so in them that fear becomes contagious. That fear becomes contagious. That's what's spreading. Fear is what's spreading. People are scared right now, and I understand. There's people that losing their jobs right now. Losing their jobs that ain't gonna be able to bounce back. There's people that got real life situations that they ain't gonna be able to pay for, you know, certain level of quality of life. So people are scared, man, and you know, that's the real problem. And you know, I look at this whole thing, you know, shit. Y'all look at this virus, man. I don't even call it by name because I don't give it power. But that shit was just a Trojan horse. That shit's just a Trojan horse to implement a lot of different things. A lot of different things, you know. That Trojan horse comes in, and there's so many layers to the types of things that they want to be able to implement. And you got to be able to peep game and watch it, you know. What they doing right now, you got people going ahead and talking about these jobs disappearing and shit like that. Well, that's crazy because the economy is going to sink too. They ain't take it all the way down. All the way down, you know. Economic, look, the economy, the devastation to the economy is going to last way longer than the virus. This economy being devastated is what's the real, that's the real virus. And what comes out of devastation economically is fear. Fear is attached to money. People go ahead and fear what they feel they'll lack. And people also fear what they don't know, the unknown. So that's what you're seeing right now, man. You're seeing that the unknown is what's going on. And everybody's scared of what they don't understand what's happening. Like, oh shit, you know, what's going to go down? But what's really going down is that they're going to slide that money right from under you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Time we step up for sure. You see, technology right now is what's getting pushed, because everybody that's got a technical skill set and a technical job, those people are working remotely. What about the people that don't have the technical sufficiency to go ahead and work remotely? What about the people that don't got a job that you could go ahead and do remotely? Man, that cash system is going to be gone. I'm telling y'all, that cash system is going to be gone. They already talking about that, that damn virus. They talk about how it's already might contaminate the money. The money might be contaminated. Slowly you're going to see places are going to start refusing to take cash. Places will refuse to take cash after a while. You know what I mean? Yeah, $5 a share. You know, MGM, shit, that's huge. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see you. I see you, David. Yeah, get that stocks up right now, because shit, once that cash is gone, that's going to crash everything. People that do a lot of transactions with cash, it ain't going to be accepted. They're going to say, hey, man, that cash might be contaminated. We can't accept that here. And all that's going to do is help to usher in, more towards doing things digital. A digital currency, man. Everybody's going to be on the digital currency. That's the reason for so much of the technology. Ain't nobody could really go ahead and function off that cash stuff. And so when it crashes the economy back down, that's what y'all going to see. Everybody that's going ahead and doing digital transactions already got you on it. You know what I mean? People are going to be scared to touch cash, real paper. After a while, people are going to be scared to touch it. And then they're going to go ahead and offer people something subsidized, like what they doing now, giving you $1,000 digital currency, going ahead and paying you. That's what they do. It's called a beta test. They're going to beta test that, roll that out, where y'all going to go ahead and be like, yeah, I'll take $1,000. I'll go ahead and take that. But what you don't understand, all these people that are in tight situations, and they can't really get any type of employment, right now they're going to go ahead and work on taking out mid to small size businesses, like the entire middle class. Like, who's going to really survive this? By the time it comes back, at the end of the day, things are going to be changed forever. Ain't never going to be the same. So they go ahead and have to take care of some people. People going to have to get that $1,000, and they'll be like, okay, I'll take that. Go ahead, pay my bills and all that stuff. They'll be like, boom. They're going to test and see how it worked, how accepting and receptive people were to that little bit of money. Then 2 to 3 months later, they'll roll out a second stimulus package. And maybe it will be $2,000 to $3,000 next. And people will be like, oh, shoot, I'll really do that. After a while, they'll have to go ahead and come out with some type of universal welfare or nationwide welfare that takes care of the people that don't have the technical aptitude to work specialized jobs in the technical field. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to go ahead and have to take upon a lot of these services, man. You know what I mean? And these services that are employed by the government. But the only thing people don't understand is you start accepting that money, that stuff comes with contingencies. See? Contingencies that people didn't think about. They'll be like, okay, for the people that we could go ahead and provide some types of subsidized living arrangements to pay all your living expenses as far as food. We'll take care of you for your health care. We'll also take care of your child care. We'll go ahead and take care of all that. But at the end of the day, we have a contingency plan. You've got to go ahead and do exactly what we say. That might involve mandatory vaccinations. You might not be able to travel or fly without that. That's going to involve you having to go ahead and get agree to get some other form of medical arrangements. You know what I mean? You might have to get tracked. They might have to go ahead and track you mobily by your phone. I don't know. By RFID. I don't know. It could be a few different things. But, they're going to make sure that once you start accepting that national welfare, that you're going to be on a plan, that they definitely say, okay, you're signed up and you're part of this. You know what I mean? And people have to be able to recognize that, because right now they ain't going to do it where they got to force it upon you is the problem. People think they're just going to roll out things that you don't like. Nah, man. They're going to drive it to a point that is so bad that you'll go ahead and see this problem so vast and so big that you'll be crying and asking for a solution. That's what they do. There's a problem created in one hand, the other hand offers a solution. When people are begging enough that they can't stand the circumstances and the situation, they'll be asking for the solution that they come out and they roll with. And you got to be able to understand a lot of that stuff, man. They trying to go ahead and implement a lot of different layers to this, which it was very convenient through this nice little Trojan horse and this nice little test run of seeing how people react and spread fear amongst each other. That's how they start to understand really how this plan works, how it gets implemented, and that's contagious. So they're hoping at the end of the day, this is the mindset that people end up staying with. And what really at the end of the day you want to understand is the better you have an understanding of the strategy put into play, the end game that's trying to be created out of this madness, the better you can strategize your life and yourself to walk this journey. And that's really about knowing more, because we fear that unknown and we fear what we cannot see. And the more you can put things together by staying very apt in how you do your due diligence, very well researched, doing a lot of your own investigation. That's how you end up being able to understand, okay, maybe there's a way that I can maneuver in this situation. Because the main thing you want to do at the end of the day is stay calm. Really stay calm. What we do is we react when we panic. People become very reactive. They call it working out of your reptilian brain. That reptilian brain is the impulsive side to human beings. When you're impulsive and you work with that reptilian brain, that's like almost like, hey, what's up, Latoya? That's like when, say if somebody's running across the street and you're about to hit them, you hit your brakes. That's impulse. That's reactive. You have that instinct of that safety mechanism. And that's what a lot of people are running off right now, that survival instinct. And that survival instinct kicks in when we're thinking very in a very survival mode. When you stop your brakes and you're about to hit somebody, you don't think about it, you just do it, you react. But that reactive type of mentality also can lead to desperation when you're in that reactive mind state too long. And desperate people take desperate measures in order to survive. And that's what we're seeing spread amongst a lot of people right now. They're in very desperate situations that they're in survival mode 100% all the time. Where that's really made for us to go ahead and kick in for that fight or flight. But right now, when you're in survival mode 24/7, that's going to go ahead and blur your level of clarity, your vision on how you see things. You aren't going to be able to see things as clear as you really need to. And that's I'm gonna look at androchrome. I'll look that up. That's really, what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? People really all up in that situation, and the technology really coming in full fold. Where, hey, they're gonna be like, this is how we're rolling out this whole digital, type of currency. And, that's why blockchain technology, cryptocurrency has become so big in the last few years, because everybody's knowing that really is, that new technology is where we're going. We're going into a digital space where really that's what we use to go ahead and pretty much do all transactions. Everything's going to be online. Everything's going to be mobile. People talk about a little bit about the 5G and stuff like that. I'm not really into that and the virus. Now, what I do say is that there's a connecting point where this has been a great opportunity to understand how people will operate in a digital space for rolling out a lot of this new technology. If you want to understand more about that, you have to check into stuff called tactile internet, or, the internet that becomes the IoT, the Internet of Things. That tactile internet is what they want to implement with a lot of this thing in the virtual space. And you have to understand that the way that the 5G works is being able to lay out a whole new level with the bandwidth that can go ahead and support this new tactile internet. And that's a whole nother level, because that's going to go ahead and create the virtual space for a lot of new ways to interact in this virtual space. That's why you're seeing more and more stuff with VR, and you're seeing more stuff that's coming out surrounding all this. You know what I mean? It's really people trying to move into that new space of autonomy. So that's why there's really been a drive for automated vehicles and, this autonomous space. But they haven't really rolled it out all the way, because the current level of internet doesn't have the level to support it. But they need everyone to be on board. They need to be able to get human beings to be able to connect better with AI systems. So artificial intelligence is a part of this, with being able to do this. Now, I do a lot of stuff in marketing. And so, I do stuff from being able to help with people's Google ads, Facebook ads, website design and all this stuff. But what I do understand with even the algorithms that Facebook and Google provide, it's all based on what they call machine learning. Because everything that we do on Facebook, all our behaviors, our interests, and all that stuff that it tracks, it's better for the algorithms to understand human thinking. That's moving towards being able to adapt human beings to better relate with AI systems. They call it machine learning, so that they could go ahead and track and understand the way that we do things and we interact. So on that level, when they start going ahead and doing this, that's how the 5G comes in. It's able to go ahead and now create a space that's able to replicate human behavior. And they do that by going ahead and studying us. And so this whole thing was a catalyst in being able to move currency and economy into an online sector, taking it completely from the offline. Once we come back from this, we're going to see a lot of things change. It's going to be different. We're not going to see things the same. We're going to see that a lot of things have to be from a digital transaction point, because this is the space that they're trying to move. Right now, they even got stuff crazy. If you look at China, China, if you want to see what America wants to do, look at China and look at what they're doing. A lot of people don't know that they have in China a social point system. They have this social point system that's real crazy. If you ever seen any of the Black Mirror episodes, there's actually a Black Mirror that kind of mirrors, what they do in China right now. And they have a system where people are judged by a social point system where you end up having a level that you're actually judged by based on it's kind of like a social currency. So people will judge you based on if your credit is good, or if you keep up with paying your rent, or if you're a good neighbor, or if you're a likable person. And actually China has a social standing that will judge you by a point system based on this. And your neighbors and people that know you can go ahead and give you particular points based on this system. And if you do not rank high enough, that you will not be able to do certain things in society. People don't even know right now in China, there's millions of people that are banned from even flying. There's millions of people that are considered in China flight risks right now based on this social point system. They can't even get on a bus. They can't get on a train right now based on this system right now. And that's how they go ahead and determine where you're going to be in their social order of things. And that's a system that they've already implemented years ago. And that system isn't too far from some of the things that they're thinking about over here, where they're going ahead and they'll adapt credit systems, and they'll go ahead and adapt people's medical systems, and they'll take a whole bunch of different things and throw it into a pot, mix it together, and they'll have our own point system over here. And that point system can vary depending on, what other people think of you. And that can be a contingency on if you'll get that government aid that you may need. If you don't make enough, or you don't do enough or contribute enough to society, then really you may not be able to use a lot of the benefits that exist to a lot of us, a lot of the privileges, that are out there. So, you may want to think about that, because what does that sound like? Everybody that goes ahead and they get that standard or that national wage, or that that national welfare, that would be crazy, because that would sound a little bit more like socialism, in a way. So I don't know, and none of this stuff is conspiracy. I don't deal with, conspiracy theory. I deal with conspiracy fact. So all these things can be looked up and verified. Yeah, it's already that way on verified, but not to that extent. Yeah, Sean, you feel me? This is all tracking, and people got to go ahead and understand that this ain't nothing to go ahead and get scary about. If you're scared about a lot of things that can influence and affect you, whether it's technology or 5G, or whether it's the virus and stuff, the best thing you can do is what you can control, and that's your immune system and your health. There's a fight right now, and the fight is, organic versus synthetic. And your own body, your state of mind, the way you live is a technology in itself. It's a very old, ancient technology. This organic matter that we're made up of, that's a technology, though. It's a type of technology that they want to be able to control to a certain level. But that technology we know very little about. But what I do feel I understand is that the implementation of fear is a driving point, because it is an energy. It is a wave energy. just like anything else. Just like, when we look at radiation, radiation is an energy. Radiation is an energy that goes from everything from radio waves to microwaves to what else we have? We have visible light, we have UV, we have infrared, we have gamma rays, X-rays, everything on the electromagnetic spectrum, But when we have this fear that projects, all it is some atomic particles that we are passing. These are actually waves that we are going ahead and putting out there. And what happens is fear, it goes ahead and it attracts an electromagnetic pull. So it looks for something else that is symbiotic to what you put out. So you go ahead and you might pull and attract that same energy that you're actually giving off. You ever go ahead and wonder why something may not go your way? Or let's say this, like if a doctor diagnoses you and something happens that's terminal, how come people, when they're told like you have 3 months to live, you know what I mean? They usually die within that time. You have 6 months to live. They end up dying within that time because something about the way we think is also in a line with the way we live. You know what I mean? So when you put out that type of fear, it pulls that stuff right into your lifestyle. And that's the way that you are controlled from a psychological level. And they know this. That's why they fight so hard to go against it. Don't you think that after all this time, if they really are talking about how the virus works, they're like, okay, this virus, it impacts people, that have pre-existing medical conditions. So if you have a problem and your immune system is compromised, say if you have an autoimmune deficiency, you have diabetes, or you have something that's really, maybe not terminal, but you're constantly ill, don't you think is the main thing they would talk about if they say it impacts the immune system? They would tell you ways that you can enhance your immune system. Look all on the news. Look everywhere in the mainstream media. They're never telling you how to go ahead and focus on making your immune system better. They don't say anything like that. They tell you stay indoors, tell you stay away from people. They tell you to make sure you're prepared to go ahead and get tested, get prepared to get vaccinated. You know what I mean? But they don't ever tell you. CMOS, look, this is the thing with the virus, man. You know what I mean? People all of a sudden have thought that since there's this new virus, that every other cold has went away, that they all disappeared. Everyone thinks that there's no more other colds. Who's to say that since you have a cold, since you might have a sneeze or a cough, you might still just have a cold, not the virus? Who's to say? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, because when it's getting diagnosed off of symptoms, well, a lot of these symptoms are really still symptoms that fall under a lot of other illnesses, such as pneumonia, flu. You know what I mean? Say if somebody had cancer and they got pneumonia and the fluid got into their lungs and they unfortunately passed away. Would they go ahead and say that person died because they got pneumonia? No, they would let us know, well, that person also was suffering from cancer. You know what I mean? So there's other things that you have to take in consideration when we're looking at this. So can CMOS beat the virus? I wouldn't say CMOS beats the virus. I would say CMOS supports your immune system, making it harder for the virus to compromise it. That's the thing. You know what I mean? CMOS is very high in iron and iodine. So it's going to go ahead and create that support to the white blood cells, because the thing about it is the immune system needs a lot of iron, especially that you can get from natural sources, because iron can almost act as a conduit for electricity, and your cells need to be electric because that's what creates an alkaline body. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Latoya. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, you know. But yeah, you know that stuff we gotta really look at with that illness, man, because they'll promote it, and there's people that are getting false positives too. There's a lot of false positives out there where they're diagnosing somebody because they might have a mild fever or a sneeze, and then they diagnose the symptom, and then that person later on might not have what they went ahead and said they had because they might be feeling better within 24 hours. But now they've just bolstered the numbers because they've counted them as an infection, even though that person may no longer be sick within a couple of hours. So then what do the numbers do? Helping to go ahead and bolster those numbers is what helps to create fear. People are seeing those numbers and they're seeing that stuff everywhere. So when they go ahead and they look at those numbers, then automatically they think that there's something higher on the rise when it's just the same things that have been circulating. There's a new strand, but you can still do the right things to protect yourself against it if you understand how to utilize your body with immune support. But they're not going to tell you that because you know that the medical industry, the World Health Organization, they've never been about supporting people with nutritional value. It's not about that because there's no profit in people being cured. There's only profit in people being sick, because then you can sell them medicines that never really cure the disease. That's what it is. It's the business of disease. Disease is a business because it doesn't work in illness. It works off of fear. That's what it is. Fear you're going to die. Soon as you go ahead and get over the fear that you'll die, there's nothing to fear at all, you know? So when you go ahead and you put out that projection and that electromagnetic thought that attracts more fear towards you, you don't understand that's as poisonous as radiation, because you're bringing that right back to yourself, and that's infecting your cells on a subatomic level. And people don't even know that, you know? You're turning a lot of your cells into free radicals. And you really have to go ahead and understand the damage that you end up doing to yourself based on your thinking alone. Your thinking is powerful because your thinking involves atoms. Atoms are everywhere, you know? And if atoms are involved in anything, and if atoms are the very substance that creates matter, then your thoughts matter. You get it? So you have to go ahead and think about that. Yeah, it's crazy, but I went ahead and stayed on longer than I thought. I don't know everything, and I don't got it all figured out at all, man. Like, what's up, my man Jimmy, man? That's one of my best friends from childhood. Man, Danny on it, man. You know, that's one of my partners from childhood too, man. The good dudes. My dude Chris on here, man. That's one of my business partners. Good dude. Latoya, she's one of my business people. I really enjoy that you guys have crunched through listening to my damn rant. You know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't got it all figured out, but some things just on my mind, and I just felt like, hey, let's go ahead and let me just go ahead and speak on it, and maybe I'll listen to this back and maybe keep some reminders for myself. Yeah, our family is good. I think everybody's going to be good. It's not what you think. This Trojan horse is really here to create anxiety, fear, and all the other poisons that end up being toxic. The fear is going to last longer than the virus. The economy is the social construct that's going to be devastated, and that's going to last longer than the virus. So if you have people economically devastated, people in fear and mentally castrated, you can control people through many different manners of things, because people will be begging for help. And what do fearful people do the most? They look for answers outside themselves. That's what they do. People that are the most frightful and the most scared look for answers outside themselves. And what's going to happen is you guys are going to ask them, and maybe not y'all, but I'm just saying in general, people are going to ask government, how can you help us? How can you go ahead and help us? What can you do to go ahead and get us out the situation? And they're going to come with a solution, and you ain't going to trip. You're going to be like, this solution's okay. You know what I mean? It's going to be all good. And April, you want to say what's up? I'm on live.
Oh my goodness. Hey.
She's like my crazy man talking, you know. But yeah, man, people are going to go ahead and be asking, what can y'all do for us? And what's going to happen, they're going to go ahead and roll this shit out. And I was thinking about it last night. I was like, damn, they're going to go ahead and end it. And what will happen, just like, remember 9/11? What they do after 9/11? They put all type of contingencies in place to start wiretapping and make sure that they were doing phone surveillances and make sure that they were watching people. That's all the stuff they did after 9/11. But then after 9/11, you know what I mean? They just went ahead and they rolled back a lot of that stuff, but then they put in play the Patriot Act. So that Patriot Act stayed. And so people had to go ahead and deal with some of those contingencies that stayed in place. So then after this, they're going to go ahead and roll back a lot of things, but not everything. But you guys will accept it because it will be better than what things were. And so that's how they end up doing things. Things will get rolled out, and then everybody will go ahead and be like, damn. And then they'll roll it back, but keep a lot of it. And they'll be like, well, at least they're not doing the military on the streets. I don't care if they're going ahead and doing mandatory vaccinations. It's better than them forcing us to stay home. Man. Oh, man, tell your mom I said, what's up, and I love her too. Yeah, so that's just what I see. So y'all just watching in the next couple of weeks what goes on. Shit, I'm about to hit this crazy outside world and see if we could go ahead and grab a couple of things. We pretty good for most things, but most of all, I want to just get out the house and say I'm a product of nature. So shit, that's what we're gonna do. You know what I mean? We God body over here, so we live the way that we need to. All right, y'all stay up, and maybe I'll drop something else later on. Yeah, we're going to stay healthy. That's the only way we were born to live, healthy. You know what I mean? Y'all go ahead, live long, live strong. Peace.